Okay, here we are. Alright, I suppose a little introduction is in order. This is Ultrawings VR on the PSVR, and got the game at release, and I absolutely love it. I think it's a brilliant game, and took the license test for the first aircraft, which was the ultralight, and because I'm a bit of a completionist, I had to get gold on it, all of the license points of course, and then gold on all of the tasks before progressing forward, which was to fly to a new hangar. It's a bit of an open world, so you can fly pretty well anywhere you want to, so that may come into play a little bit later on, you never know. Anyway, I sort of progressed, following what I thought was a logical path, making sure that I got golds on everything before I moved on. I then acquired the second aircraft, did exactly the same thing. I even went back to the very start and retraced my steps, because I realised that when you acquire aircraft, it actually unlocks more tasks for the aircrafts that you've already got. So made sure I mopped up all the golds before moving forward, and eventually got to a point where I couldn't afford to buy the next hangar, and there was no more task for me to mop up in gold to acquire more money. And of course you need the hangars to acquire the new aircraft to unlock more tasks to earn more money, etc, etc. So I went onto the forums, just seeing if anyone else had experienced the same issues, maybe trying to find an answer, and the developers of the game actually joined in a conversation with me, and we're trying to get to the root of the cause. And this video is an attempt to sort of try and help that process along a little bit by showing exactly what happened and the situation that I found myself in, because I guess from their point of view, they don't want a game where it's possible for a player to paint themselves into a corner, which is the title of the forum post. So without further ado, let's crack on. So I've only ever started one save point, which is the first red disc, and you can see that it says that I'm only 21.9% complete, which I like that. It tells me there's a lot more of the game to go. So I'm going to pop that in the drive. And it's loading our location. Right, so I don't know if this is the hangar that you actually start the game with if you were to start a new game, but we are definitely on Wayward Isle, which is the starting island. Each island essentially has two hangars. Using that little V marker, we, I think, are on that little island there, off to the top left of the Wayward Isle. I'm not sure if that's where you start, or whether you start at the main airport, which is about there, sort of towards the southeast of the island. I think you do start here, and you don't start in that aircraft though. So what we'll do is we'll switch back to the starting aircraft. Whilst I'm here, might as well have a quick look at the settings. So I'm playing in simulator mode. I've got a bit of a background in flight simulation, I won't bore you with that, but essentially I haven't even bothered with arcade mode. I wanted something that was as realistic as possible. I've turned off all of the comfort options relating to VR. And current aircraft owner, the Ultralight and the Glidester. You can see that my piggy bank is, I thought it was around 29k, I just misremembered it when I was writing on the forums, but it's at 38.5k, but it's insufficient. I need 50k to buy the next hangar. Where am I going to get that 50k from? And there is the conundrum. Anyway, let's log in. Actually, before I log in, I just want to check here. I just wondered if there was a button method of activating the rocket on the glidester. So, oh yeah, incidentally, I'm using the DualShock instead of using the virtual stick. Just find it a little bit more comfortable, a bit more accurate, being able to operate the flaps and all that without having to visually grab objects is a little bit quicker, a bit more responsive. I'm playing on a PlayStation Pro, so I don't know if the graphics are going to appear a little bit sharper when they're output to Twitch and YouTube, but it's nice and crispy clear here. Right, so let's log in. Jobs, right, yeah, so I reckon because this is showing the license tab for the ultralight, I think that's the indicator that yes, this is the island that you start on. Right, so license, that is a gold. There was a question as to whether I was mixing up bronzes with golds. And I pointed out I've been playing video games for quite a while, so I am aware of the difference between a bronze and a gold. Plus, if they all look like this, it would have been highly unlikely to have only just made it to bronze on every single thing. Anyway, so that was test 6 out of 6. I think they all like... when you revisit them, I think they're always on the last page that you were on, so we're going to go backwards through the tab. We're using the L1, so we're on page 6 of 6. Reward completed. Yeah, gold completed. Completed gold. Completed gold. Completed gold. Completed gold. Bing, bing, bing. So that's all of the license tests for the ultralight. Then rush. There's only one completed gold. And then land, there's 3, so gold, completed, completed, completed. So everything for the ultralight on this hangar, done, gold level. Alright. Yeah, I did the land ones, didn't I? Yeah. Alright, so let's change aircraft back to the glidester. Log in. The license not available because I would imagine the license will be on the hangar where we acquired the glidester. Right, so first jobs, gold completed, and land, gold completed. Alright, so we'll back out of that. So what we want to do now is we just want to fly to the next hangar that I would have gone to when I was playing this game the first time around. We'll just go into free flight mode using the glidester because it's going to be faster navigating around this open world than the ultralight. Let's pick up the helmet. And here we are.
Traffic control, you are cleared for takeoff.
Thank you very much. Alright, taking off. There we go. We're going to bank over to that direction there. I quite like the glidester. It's quite relaxing when it's in its glide mode. I'm just going to let the aircraft find its natural balance. Obviously, the faster the aircraft goes, the more the nose tends to pitch up. The slower it goes, the more it will go into a dive. But if you just sort of relax your grip on the right stick, it'll find a natural equilibrium. And that way, all you got to do is worry about the left and the rightiness. So I'm just going to fly through this gap. And the second hangar will be on our left-hand side. I don't know if we're going to make it in one go, actually. Oh, maybe. Oh, I don't know. It's a bit tight. I'm just going to pitch back a little bit, sacrifice a bit of speed for altitude. The instruments are a little bit difficult to see. Right, I'm going to apply 1 level of flap to trade in my last bit of speed for altitude. Oh, yeah, and we've made it. Oh, just about. There we go. Whoops, apply the brakes. Alright, let's visit this hangar. Alrighty. Okay, so let's switch back to the ultralight, because that's how I would have arrived here first time. Log in, jobs. Right, it says 2 here, gold completed. Gold completed. Land, golden completed. Golden completed. Golden completed. Right, so get back to the Glidester. Log in, jobs, gold completed. Incidentally, whilst I remember, some of these, when you actually do them, particularly the ones where you got to land on a target, you do get a reward based on how close you are to the bullseye. And hands up, not all of my touchdowns were like super duper close, but they were close enough to get a gold. But it meant that you didn't earn quite all of the maximum reward. So I'm thinking, has someone done the maths based on someone always getting the max amount? Because if that's the case, you never know, once you've completed it, you never know how short you were. You can't go back and sort of figure out which ones is there still a little bit of money left to earn on. Alright, so yeah, we'll check that. Landing ones, okay. Okay, and we're in the Glidester, so we're off to the next island that we would have gone to on our first playthrough. So, free flight again.
This is air traffic control. You are cleared for takeoff.
Where is the next island in relation to this one? There it is, off to our left. It was that volcano island. Okay, here we go. There we go. Since we've got the fuel for it, we might as well go for another rocket burn. This time I'm going to try and keep the nose at a reasonable angle, so we're going to get even more speed. There we go. We're going to start bleeding off now. Let's go again. Whoops. That's the one drawback using the dual shock with this particular aircraft. Every time you want to activate that rocket, you got to take your finger off the right stick. So you invariably either pitch up or pitch down. That's the third island. Alright, there's our destination. So we got to start thinking about heights and altitudes and speeds and things like that. Okay, so I'm gonna just find the aircraft's natural equilibrium. Just let it naturally speed up. Hands off the right stick now. As it speeds up, the nose will pitch up. That will cause it to slow down. Slowing down will cause it to lose altitude. There we go. I don't particularly want to use another rocket now just to make it to that island. And I think this is definitely where I would... Yeah, this is definitely where I went to next. So far we've absolutely mirrored how I would have started. That island over there, by the way, the sandy looking one, I think that was patched in after I bought the game. Because it's not on the map. I don't recall seeing it the first time around. But definitely I regard that as island number 4. Oh, here we are. Let's put a bit of flaps on. There we go, just to sort of drop me down a little bit more. We've got to think about losing that speed. There we are. Whee! Little dab there, and down we are. On with the brakes. The brakes are quite efficient, shall we say. Right, let's visit this one. So, I think, well, definitely we would have arrived here in the ultralight. And I think this is the island where I acquired the glidester. The proof of the pudding will be when we switch back to it, whether we see a license here or not. Right, so jobs. There's 2 here, gold completed. Gold completed. Land. Gold completed. Gold completed. Right, back to the glidester. Log in. Jobs, yeah, this is definitely the island that we acquired the glidester on. So license 5, gold completed, 4, gold completed, 3, gold completed, 2, gold completed, 1, gold completed. Rush 2, completed, completed, and land, completed, gold, completed, gold. Right, on to the next place. Well, the next location is the hangar that's the tunnel hangar. I think in game they referred to it as like a villain's lair.
You're cleared for takeoff.
And that's over there. There we go. Bit of a sharp bank over. Whee! Height is not the issue here. There it is. That's where we need to be. Alright, now that we're a glider, we can sort of think about... Right, so a bit of flap here. A bit more. A lot more. I want to lose altitude. So how we lose altitude is by losing speed. The wings lose their ability to generate lift, and we drop like a stone. So this is more like the space shuttle now. There we are. Coming in nicely, nicely. There we are, a little bit of brake. There we are. Bing. Right. So, even though I would have earned the glidester back at the last island, I know that I would have deliberately arrived during an ultralight just because I know I would have been doing that set of missions first. So, ultralight, log in, jobs, rush. Says 2 here, gold on that one completed, gold on that one completed, land, gold completed. Gold completed. Alright, back into the glidester. Log in. Jobs. Rush. 2. Gold completed. Gold completed. Land. Gold completed. Gold completed. Okay. Let's progress. So back into free flight. The next
You are
island.
cleared for takeoff.
The next island, I didn't remember the name of it, but it's the one with a big statue. Now imagine this was a Star Wars X-wing coming out of here. I can totally imagine that. Right. There's the volcano, and there's our destination. Right. Little village over there. That over there is our first starting island, Wayward Island, and in the background that is what I will call island number 4. It's not actually on the map, and I got a funny feeling it was patched in for free as an extra island. Not sure. Although I think I read that one of the aircraft you earn on that island, if that was the case, then it must have been in from the beginning. But why isn't it on the map? You know, the map's got one job. Level of details loading in. Okay, right. Is that lighter? Is that tower in the way? No. It's fairly close though, right. I'm putting on 5 degrees of flaps just to slow myself down and lose a wee bit of altitude. This is the next hangar that I visited and the next hangar that I bought. Alright. Bit more flaps. Full flaps. There we go. Whoops. Oh, that was a harsh one. Alright. Okay. Right, let's change back into the ultralight. Only because I know I want to end up in the glidester. So, drops here, there's 2 gold uncompleted. Land. Gold. Gold. So that's that boxed off. Glidester. Login. Jobs. Rush. 2 of those gold uncompleted. And land, there's 1 completed. So that's all of the jobs exhausted on this one. And this is where I found myself, right? When I played the game. So you know, by this time I was, you know, familiar with the game, so I knew that the next hangar that I had to go to buy was the little one off of this one. You know, hangar number 2 for this particular island. So let's go there.
Glider 397, you are cleared for takeoff.
There we go. Now you can see that the hangar itself has got like a, you know, like a beacon, a game element to it, to indicate this is new. Come and check me out. Which is exactly what I did, like a good little soldier. Alright. Right, there we go. Gotta watch these trees there. Don't want to collide with the trees. There you go. I'm just going to give myself a little bit of room. There we are. Woo! Whoops-a-daisy. Right. So look, I can't buy it. I have not enough money, not enough moolah. Okay, so if I were to press the X button now, I think it takes me back to my last what's it, and seeing as that is roughly in the direction that we want to go, plus it'll refuel us. Okay, we'll take advantage of that, but hence the dead end. And it would be the same thing if I landed here in the microlight. It's not about tasks, because you haven't got the tasks available to you, because you haven't bought the hangar. Me want to buy a hangar. Me no afford hangar. Right, so let's zip back to our last hangar. Here we are. And we'll be refueled again. So the destination now is exactly what I did, you know, first time around.
This is air traffic control. You are cleared for takeoff.
The thought process is, well, you go to that fourth island. That's the only other place you've never been to. Where is it? Over there. Alright. Giddy up. Now we've got quite a long flight ahead of us because we're now heading towards the fourth island, which is the one in the far background. Now fuel, which is that yellow bar there, is going to be an issue. Not an issue as such, but it's just something we've got to be mindful of. We can't just make it all the way there. So our pit stop is going to be the little island there, which was our starting beginning. That's where all the new games start. So I'm going to hold altitude so that speed rises faster. You know, you don't want to be in a situation where you're not going to make it to the island because you've run out of fuel, or if you have to do a go around, you have insufficient fuel to make it back. Oh, a little note to the developers, right? I don't know if it shows up on your video, but you can sort of make out a circle, which is I don't know, it's sort of like everything within the circle will be a higher detail. It's like the waves will animate, yeah. But everything outside of the circle, it's a different shade of blue. Just match the two colours the same, that's all it'll take. I'll try and show the effect again. Depends if all this is already in memory, it won't need to load it. Alright, let's focus on the task at hand, which is land now. I've got enough fuel for a go around if I need to. I'm just going to find the equilibrium, which is about there. There we go. I'm off the right stick now, dead stick. They got trees on the oh Jesus. Literally, trees on the final approach. Right, sufficient altitude and speed to make it. I think they've upgraded the music. I don't seem to recall the guitar background. It always seemed to be just a little bit more monotonous and looping. This has got a bit of melody to it now. Right, let's put the flaps on. There we go, we cleared that, just straighten her out. A little bit of rudder. There we go. Right. Now realistically all I need to do here is refuel, but I'm such a checkerphobe just to make sure. Okay.
Glider 397, you are cleared for takeoff.
There we go. go. Now this island is the one that I thought was patched in for free because A, I don't recall it being there in the beginning, and B, it's not on the map. But I think you do get an aircraft there, so who knows. Anyway, it's slightly different to the others, whereby both hangars are on the same single landmass. There is no little island. And out of those two, I'm choosing to go to this one first, because if I recall correctly, the second one, which is over there, it's got trees at one end. So, and because you can't afford it, you can't refuel there. So you got to think about, how am I going to take off from this runway after I land it? And if there's trees at the end and you land long, you're going to be scuppered. I just thought as well, when I land at this one here, I'm not going to be able to get any fuel. Here we go. Right, we got to go for height. We have got to get that height. We can always trade height for speed. There we are, okay. Runway sighted. Okay, I need to lose height. Always away. And again, it's got the game pointer marker to indicate this is new. Come and check this out. Right, okay. We're starting to slow down now. Okay. Remember, wherever I'm going to be hitting the brakes as soon as we land, because we've got to be able to take off on the same tank of fuel. No positioning, no going inside the hangar, because... There we go. Okay, a little bit of flaps. And hit the brakes. Whee. That's better than a carrier. Look, can't afford it. $80,000. Now I don't want to hit X now because it will take me back to our last pit stop where we refueled, and then we'll have to fly out to this island again. So we should have enough fuel here to land at the last airport or hangar runway available in the game. There we go. Let's take those flaps off. Okay, flaps off. And fire. And needles in the green. That means we can fly. There we go. Nice little gentle bank. There we are. And there's the airport over there, or the runway. We've got enough height in that single launch. And again, the game icon is indicating that it's something new. Lovely graphics. It doesn't need to be realistic, it just needs to be, I don't know, crisp. Convincing? No. There we go. Right. 15 degrees of flaps. Sorry, I said 5 earlier on. Also, I think that was more Boeing 737 idents. There we go. Oh, there we go. And I can't buy this one either. 50,000, and I've only got about 38 or something like that. And that's where I am, dead-ended, painted into a corner. So thanks for viewing, and hopefully the devs can sort of patch in something so that nobody else falls into this trap. I don't know how I'm going to get out of it. It's either they're going to have to patch it so that, I don't know, the rewards are maybe higher, so that it's impossible to get to a point where you haven't got insufficient money. It's not as if you can spend the money on anything other than hangars and aircraft, so, you know, being cash rich, it's not as if you're going to like own the best sword or anything like that. Or they could make a little task that never goes away, that you could always earn a little bit of money, and that will future-proof any other sort of income-related dead ends. Or I'm going to have to restart the entire game again and make the destinations where the aircraft are the number one priority, rather than the next airport, or you know, staying at a particular airport to mop up all the golds. I don't know if that had an impact on it or not, but there's no more tasks available for me. I can't afford the next hangar, and as a consequence of that, it won't unlock the next aircraft, which is how I would earn more bickies. There's a glide stair up there, and ultralight there, I think. Right, so thanks for watching. Bye for now.